Okay, hello everyone. Sorry that took a little bit. For some reason, my wireless wasn't working, but now it seems to be up and running. So, welcome to week 5 of digital marketing. Hope everything's going great so far and that you've been able to get through the materials and read everything. Um, and hopefully, you will be turning in your first group assignment today, which is the team contract and the project introduction. Um, Sorry again about the deadline mistake. I accidentally listed it as midnight last night, which is not what I meant to do. I meant to list it as midnight tonight, just to make it utterly clear, because sometimes people are confused as whether what day midnight is associated with. I made it 11:55 p.m. tonight, just so it's very obvious what day it is. Okay. Um, that should all be set up, and hopefully you'll be turning those in. My hope is to turn those around to you within a week, or basically, and get them back to you. And so you'll see comments from me on the project. Now, several people have asked a couple questions about the project. One, just because you turn in the introduction does not mean that that's the final introduction. You can go back and modify it. In fact, I expect you to. If you don't modify it based upon my comments, you won't receive a very good grade on the final turn-in, right? This is kind of a preliminary turn-in. It does two things. It helps me kind of guide your work a little bit so that you can turn in the best possible digital marketing plan you possibly can. And two, it also serves somewhat as a forcing function to make sure that you're actually identifying the company, working on the social media content, things like that along the way, right? Another question I've had about the group project has to do with whether or not you need to turn in a fully working website and social media content at the end of the class. And the answer to that is it would be great if you did. If you can mock up a website that actually works and everything like that, that would be fantastic, and I highly encourage that. However, I understand that that may not be possible for whatever reason. If that's the case, I expect you to at least turn in kind of mock-ups of what they would look like, right? So images and things like that. And I will have the ability to turn in both forms of content on the final assignment. Okay. I think that's pretty much it in terms of the questions I've had. And I'm just going to pull up my notes real quick to respond, but I think if you have any other questions, feel free to email me at any time. Turn in a mock-up, fix the Google assignments. I apologize again the Moodle assignments. Apologize again for that. One other question, right? Several people have said that they thought that they needed more contact with their target firm before doing the introduction. I expect you to turn in whatever you can tonight. If you need to update that in the future, you should be able to. I mean, most of the questions that you're answering for the project introduction can probably be answered without even contacting the firm. So you should be able to, even if you want to refine it at a later date, whatever you turn in now will be fine. There was a small little hiccup, by the way, with the Vice UK article where I hadn't actually posted a discussion forum question about the article so that you could start discussing it. And but luckily, a couple of your fellow students jumped right in and posted that as well. So if that ever happens again and I forget to post an actual response for which the conversation happened, then feel free to jump in yourselves and post a response, right? So I definitely want to thank both Michelle Van Gorp and Josh Dalton for doing their work and putting up those conversations and threads so that they're available, right? So feel free to do that in the future to the extent to which you need to do it, right? Sorry again if that wasn't there beforehand. I think that's it for the questions I had along the way. I don't see anyone yet. There was another question. There was one other question about that happened to be since last week about whether it'd be worth working for a real company, one that you can work with, or kind of doing a theoretical pitch for a company that you've made up or that you want to work with but don't have contact with. I honestly find that in most cases the best projects are companies where you actually have contact with a company. If there's a company that you'd really like to, for whatever reason, work with, outside of that, then that's fine. I just find that those projects tend to not go as well. Just to let you know, but I have had successful ones in that space. I'm just talking about on the average, right? So to that extent, some of the reason why I have you turn in the project in production is so that I can kind of give you a little feedback about where things are heading. If you are going to choose a much larger company rather than a small company or something like that, I would highly recommend identifying maybe a particular niche market of that company, or a particular product, or a particular event, or something that you could focus the digital marketing plan around, rather than trying to design a marketing plan for all of Best Buy, for instance. Focus on how Best Buy is going to reach out to retirees, right, or something like that, right? And I find that works out better. Now, at this point, you all turned in your assignments, but you will see some feedback on that, and that's feedback you could take going forward as you continue to refine it. Okay, so where are we in terms of course content? In terms of course content, we have everything through social media strategy up online, analytics and optimization. I hope to record some videos on that this week, and those will be going up as well. So in terms of course content, that's where you should be going through everything. In terms of, let's see, and I think that's it for the course content I was going to talk about. Just make sure that you have caught up through digital marketing strategy, which is what will be, it's been up for a couple of weeks now. We will start working on analytics and optimization. That will be up. And I do hope to put up a feedback survey just to get your feedback on how the course is going, what we can change, what we can modify. When I normally do this twice during a semester, but because this is a brand new class in the online forum, I'm going to be doing it 3 times. So you'll see one now, one at week 10, and one at the end of the class. Right? I do try and take into account, I've done a couple of these before, and I will try and modify the class on the fly, if you will, to attempt to alleviate any concerns that people have. Not too much. I don't want to shake people up so that they know what their expectation, but if I could be delivering videos better or doing something else differently, I'm happy to do that. That being said, there's one last announcement I want to make, which is that the conceptual assignment is now up. You should be able to see it. It's under assignments on the Moodle. It's listed as conceptual assignment, digital strategy for Hearst magazines. So there is an article that I'm asking you to read about the content manager at Hearst magazines and her strategy of trying to really push for more digital content and what they are doing, and trying to really engage with new audiences. Joanna Coles is the name of the editor for at Hearst magazines. Specifically, she's editor at Cosmopolitan, right? So I thought this was very timely, given the fact that this article was just published at the end of last month, January 30th. Given the fact that we've been talking about digital marketing strategy and research and social media channels, all of which this article touches on, I thought it really tied in well to the class. You will find, besides the article, you will also find a document that's labeled Conceptual Assignment Digital Strategy for Hearst Magazines. That has a series of questions and statements that I ask you to respond to. You can write your comments in any form you want, whether it be a Word document, Google Doc, whatever. I just ask that you upload a version of it to Moodle, right? I don't want to. All that should be available for you to do. And the 5 questions. I mentioned the 5 questions. I want you to base your responses off of what we've learned in class, but feel free to augment those responses with additional research that you do on your own. In fact, some of them actually ask you specifically to do a little research. It's not very difficult research, and to answer the questions on the basis of the research that you've done, right? And that should be it. I mean, the 5 questions, I expect, no more than about half a page per question, right? So 2.5 pages total for the entire document. It's 150 points total. So since there's 5 questions, each question will be worth 30 points. There's no differential weighting. And I think that's all pretty straightforward. If you have any additional questions or concerns, let me know. The due date is February 15th at 11:55 p.m. and I've double checked to make sure I said it right this time. So that's when it's all supposed to be turned in. So that should be it for today. Just a recap, right? Group project introduction and group and team contract are due tonight by 11:55 p.m. on Wednesday, February 8th. You should be through social media strategy by the end, sometime around the end of this week. And new content on analytics and optimization will be going up soon. You can also spend your time this next week, obviously. You need to work on the individual assignment on digital strategy for Hearst magazines. And that is due 11:55 p.m. February 15th. Okay, I think that's all my announcements for today and all my questions. If you have any concerns, email me. And as always, by the way, if you want to ask questions in a live context, you're happy. You can either come on. You can either email the questions ahead of me to me ahead of time. You can come on the YouTube channel and ask any questions there, or alternatively, you can even tweet at me any questions at Bill Rand. I usually keep an eye on both of those things at the same time while I'm doing the live office hours. Okay, so that's it for this week. Let me know, and good luck with everything. Take care. Bye.